Well, I got a call about a day later after I returned to California. She was going down the highway, and all of a sudden she wasn't going down the highway anymore. The red light indicated that she was low on oil, and going down the highway she became oilless. And so the engine just locked up and was ruined forever. It cost $3,500 to put a new engine in an old Taurus like that. That's what she had to pay because she didn't get it, that light was really telling her something she needed to know. Your feelings are telling you something that you need to know. From New Life Ministries, this is Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn. I'm Stephen Arterburn. And Going Deeper is all about taking the tough issues, the hard issues of life, looking a little bit deeper inside so that we can gain some insight into our lives. Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Thanks for joining me for Going Deeper. We're going to go a little bit deeper today into Healing is a Choice. It's a great book. There's a workbook attached to it. And right off the bat, the last time we were together, we talked about this choice to connect with other people. Well, the second choice, you might say, well, maybe the second choice should have been the first one, because the second choice is the choice to feel. And you might say, well, why is that a choice? Well, it's a choice because a lot of times, rather than feel the things that we need to feel, we cut off those feelings. Now, when I was abandoned, I would say, or divorced, when she left, I want you to know I felt. It felt like an ice pick through my heart. The pain, searing, hard pain. And it was in counseling that I discovered that pain was not anger at her. In fact, I really could care less. I mean, that was what it was all about. I couldn't care less. And it wasn't shame either, but it was fear. I didn't even know that fear could hurt, but boy, did it ever, because I just thought everything was lost, no hope. Boy, was I ever wrong about that. So feeling is a really, really important part of life. Feelings have a purpose. They can provide the very thing that we need to know about ourselves. Now, before I married my wife, she was a single mom and a very busy one at that. She had 2 boys, 5 and 6, Carter and James, and she she bought her own little house. And it was just, when I saw her house, I admired her so much that she, as a single mother who had been in a really tough marriage that led to divorce, that she was able to buy this house on her own. But she was very busy working, supporting these kids, and before they were 7 years old, she had already read through all the Chronicles of Narnia. It was bizarre. She had already read through one of the kids' Bibles with them. And so she was busy. Sometimes when you're busy, you miss things. And she had a Ford Taurus. And I remember riding in this Ford Taurus. And I said to her one day, hey, there is a red light on the dashboard there that indicates there is an engine problem. And she said, oh, I know, I have got to get that light fixed because the thing is, it's always on. I said, yeah, okay, well, all right. It was a new relationship. I didn't feel like I was the one to be giving her advice. Well, I got a call about a day later after I returned to California. She was going down the highway, and all of a sudden she wasn't going down the highway anymore. The red light indicated that she was low on oil, and going down the highway she became oilless. And so the engine just locked up and was ruined forever. It cost $3,500 to put a new engine in an old Taurus like that. That's what she had to pay because she didn't get it, that light was really telling her something she needed to know. Your feelings are telling you something that you need to know. A lot of people during the COVID epidemic, they needed to feel a little bit of fear, because that would lead them to a little bit of hand sanitizer and a little bit of a face mask and distance and all of that. But people that weren't afraid were just acting like there was no problem whatsoever. And what a sad thing that is. Now, you know, if you're going to feel, you're going to be just like Jesus. Now, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, we all know that story, where he felt so deeply what he was about to do, or feeling the sins of the world upon him, that he sweat drops of blood. He was feeling. And then, you know, when his buddy Lazarus died, he cried over that. So he was a man of emotion. And I so honor him for that, because he didn't just tell us what to do, he showed us how to be full of grief. In Isaiah 53, it says he was a man of sorrows and acquainted with the bitterest of grief. I was fortunate enough to get to do a devotional for Congress, and during that time there was a man who, in a press secretary or something like that, that died. And they had the funeral, and I stayed there for the funeral. And one of the people got up and said, you know, this was God's plan, and here are the little children sitting there, God's plan, and I'm so glad that he's in a safer, better place, and we just need to honor him and find a way to be at peace with all of this. The next guy got up and said, I am angry. This man was one of the greatest dads, one of the greatest professionals, and he is not here anymore, and I am angry. And I just thought, boy, isn't that healthy? You rarely ever hear or see something like that at a funeral. But I think that's what those kids needed to hear, that it'd be okay for them to be angry, even angry at God. And then you come to understand that this is life outside the garden. Nobody promised it'd be without problems or pain. You come to see that. You come to see that God never said he'd protect us from the pain or the problems, but he'd wipe away the tears. He would be there to comfort us. So it's important that we feel the full depths of our emotions. Some people will just lie to themselves, and they'll tell them, well, you know, I just need to do the right thing, and how I feel doesn't really matter. It matters. Those feelings, they have information. Those feelings, they have a purpose. And when we drink them away or drug them away or work them away or whatever it is, when we miss it, we're really missing something that could so valuably point us in the areas of our life that we need to go to work on. Well, that's it for my second choice in Healing is a Choice. I hope that somehow that's going to help you, and I'll see you next time right here for Going Deeper. Thank you for joining me for Going Deeper. I hope something I've said may have helped just a little bit. If you have a question you'd like me to answer or comment, just email me at stevesocial@newlife.com. I'll see you next time.
If you want to support Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn, be sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. And if you know someone who would benefit from this episode, be sure to share it with them. See you on the next Going Deeper with Stephen Arterburn from New Life Ministries.